Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kenshi. My name is Tobal, and we're here in the valley in the Holy Nation lands, a nice fertile valley, and we have started to set up our buildings to get constructed for our first outpost. So right now our engineers are hard at work, running back and forth from the boxes with storage to finish making those initial things that we put down last episode. I also have Stone running over here to one of the little villages that have animals and have crops. So he's going to take a look and see if they've got anything for sale, because we need enough green fruit and wheat straw to start our 2 farms. So let's have him come into the house, and there should be someone we can talk to. Unless they're all dead. Oh gosh, what is this? Oh, it's a river raptor. Where are you at, my friends? Are you out here working hard? Hardly working? Don't see anyone. Here comes more river raptors. They're actually going to wind up coming over here probably and starting to eat their food. But hey, better them than us, right? Sure. Let's see. No one in here either. Well, where in the world did all the people go? I hope they didn't die. I mean, they might have. Hello? Anyone home? Just a bunch of animals. I wonder if I can I capture them? It's a bit strange. I think if there's anyone around, they might trigger when these raptors come trying to eat the crops. Huh. Oh, fair enough. I guess there's nobody at this farm. Maybe they evacuated, or maybe they just got killed. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and run over to the farm on this side, and then I guess I'll try the one that's right next to our base. Sometimes they don't have everything you need, so you have to run around a little bit. But it's fairly likely that you'll be able to find what you need in terms of the crops. And so let's take a look at the farms. So if we go to farming, yeah, and here we find the vegetable farm. So let's put the vegetable farm down. Over here is fine. We'll put the small wheat farm down next to it. We'll put down a well and our water tank over here. Each of these costs different things to build. The farms just cost, at the base level, they cost 10 of whatever fruit it is, but the larger ones might cost 40. Extra large, I think, costs 60. So the nice thing about Kenshi, one of the nice things, is these buildings are self-upgradable. And what I mean by that is if you build, it's hard to look at the building because it's got, you know, barely any, there you go, there's like a post right here, I think. I still can't even find where I put down the blueprint. Oh, it's so hard to click at the stupid thing. Okay, well, I can't find it right now and can't click on it. So if we researched a better well, you would have the option to upgrade that well, and all you'd have to do is bring the new building materials, and it would upgrade into the better designed well. So that's one of the nice things about the game. It does allow you to do this kind of self-upgrading. And let's see, what else do we have here? We've got our guys trying to fill up. I think you're going to do the rest of they brought the rest of the building material over. Okay, so we're in progress. We're doing good. So what I'm going to do is start assigning some jobs to our workers, or to our fighters. Remember, this is our combat squad. But, you know, they're strong backs, simple minds, so they can do a little bit of work. So we're going to assign, let's see, we can assign one person to this copper, one person there, 3 to each of these iron resources. Unfortunately, the copper quality is really low. So we're going to have, I think that just means it winds up being slower extraction. However, we're not going to need copper right away. So let's go ahead and assign 3 people to start working the iron. And so I selected each of these 3 by doing shift click. You shift click is just basically you'll keep adding to your selection. And then I shift right clicked on the iron resource to give them the job of doing that that job of extracting that resource. I'm going to send Laura to mine this copper node. I'll send Jackson over here to mine this copper node. I'll take away his other jobs too. So these people will work on this node until the output is full. However, after that point, they don't know to do anything. They just know that they're trying to work on the resource until, well, they'll just keep doing it forever and ever. So what I'm going to do is select them all again, and I'm going to come over here to the box. I think this is the iron resource box. Let me just click on it to make sure. Yep, this is the storage for the ore. So I'm going to then shift right click on the box for ore, and you'll see a second job. So they'll always try to do the jobs in order. So number one is, can I refine or can I mine this resource? And sure enough, the output is not full, so yes. However, when the output becomes full, they are no longer able to accomplish the first job, so they move to the second. The second one is to haul to the ore storage. So one of them, or multiples, will pick up all the ore and drop it off at the box. And then they'll go back to mining. So we're going to do the same thing with Laura and Jackson. We're going to tell them to drop off their copper at the copper storage. And that's that. Okay, our stone mine can take 3 people. So let's get Kif, Tassilo, and Hand over to the mine. And the same thing. I'm going to keep those 3 people selected and shift-click the box for stones. Where's Hand at? Wait, who am I missing? Where's Kif? Oh, Kif's, that's right. Kif was one of our engineers. Oops. Did I take away our 2 engineers? I kind of did. That's fine. We'll take the engineering job away from him. Have him go over to the mine to help out. They really haven't been doing much of engineering yet, so that's fine. We'll give these 2 folks the engineering job. Doc is just going to be Doc. I think we'll keep the medic job on them. And then, so Stone is the only one really who we originally have hired so far that's going to be a worker. So maybe, let's send Tobal and his 1 arm, right? We didn't mess this up. We only have 1 arm right now. Okay. Ooh, you know what we might want to get? Here, let's do this. This could be fun too. Let's see if anyone's home first off. Hey, are you a person I talk to? You're not. But at least there's people here. Are any of you kind of like the camp boss? I think sometimes they're sitting inside the building. Let's see if anyone's in here. They might get upset at us for coming in. Nope, no one's in here. Their door might be closed though. Yeah. I think we're going to have to wait overnight for to be able to go into the house to talk to the workers. I don't see a chat bubble, and I'm looking for the person who's in charge of the camp. And normally I think they actually sit in the house the entire time. They're the ones who you can buy things from. So what I'm thinking about doing is buying a domesticated bull. That way we can use it for storage, and we can use it to take kind of supply runs to cities. It's very, very slow. However, if we are in the nice, safe zone of the Holy Nation, we shouldn't have too much of a problem with that. Here's the river raptors. Now, they just kind of patrol generally on their own. But if we happen to be growing crops right now, they would kind of get summoned in a way, and they would kind of pull over to the crops and try to eat the crops. I think everyone will try to defend the crops by default. So you have to be a little careful that your entire group doesn't get wiped out. But it seems like they have made the river raptors a little less tough than they used to be. Why are they all injured? That's interesting. It's like they're all just a tiny bit injured. Are we strong enough to take them on? Probably not our group here. Dinah's getting bigger, though. Look at that. 122 now. She's a teen. So as she gets older, she gets stronger. And all of her stats get a bonus based on that. So right now, everything is kind of cut down in half of what it normally would be. So as she's getting better and better, I love that Diana has skills in sabers. That's a little silly. And precision shooting. Okay, so we've got our people doing laboring work. They're bringing, see, here's that run right now. So Alice, if we look in her inventory, has 1 piece of ore. Oh, you know what? That's the other problem. I've got a bunch of extra crap in everyone's inventory. Oh, we'll fix that up here in a bit. Either way, I'm going to have Tobal run to town. And, ooh, you know what we should do? We should probably trade Doc the Ancient Science book. That way we don't get in trouble if we happen to get searched. Hopefully they don't care about the fact that I have an arm in my inventory. I've never seen that before, actually, either. I know the book will trigger some anger. I don't know if the arm will. So, it would be nice to actually grab Beep and Shrike to help us around the town, too. Unfortunately, I don't think either of them have the ability right now to make it in terms of their running ability. I don't think either of them can get through fast enough. What are you running at? 18 miles an hour. I guess I could just occasionally click on the map and have them do some running commands. Ooh, what's going on over here? We're having a party at the gate. I like that things keep happening even though you're not actively watching the city of Mongrel. Because we have some people here. This zone, I guess this area, is active. Oops, somebody's being nibbled on over here. Well, that sucks for them. We're not going to help out. Hey, are there any convenient corpses of princes lying around where we can just grab a prince head? I don't see anything. It's also really dark. I'm going to speed up the game just a bit. Maybe we'll have Tobal do a... Yeah, we'll have him drop off supplies, and then I might keep him in the city because what I wanted to do was see if we could hire a couple of hands for our labor group. So the people who are going to be sitting at the base, just kind of working on labor without really contributing to much else. They're just going to be the ones who are working on the, the rigs and the refineries and things like that. So let's go to the bar, see if we can sell off the leather we have. You see any people for hire here? No. Oh, the nice thing also, by the way, I remember how we joined the Shinobi Thieves Guild, and now we have access to their fences. Well, I think we had access to their fences anyways, to be fair, but they do have roaming fences and roaming members around the world. I think they'll actually help you too, because you're basically considered to be allies. Although it's yellow, maybe that just means you're a member. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna sell our leather. And that brought us up to about 13,000. And if I remember right, that's roughly what it costs to buy a bull, a low quality bull, I think. I guess we'll just have Tobal run around here. Nobody for hire in any of the bars anyways. There should be one more bar somewhere right down here. And we'll have him just wait there till morning. It's 3 a.m. right now in the game. So let's just have him hang out for a couple more minutes. Nope, looks like that's a group of... that's a caravan guard. They're just coming in for the night. I do like that the NPCs will have their own thing going on. Just kind of coming in after a long walk. We'll switch back to our city. Everyone's working hard. Now, they might get stuck because I don't think some of these folks can't do their haul job because they're so full. But you'll start to see these get full. They're starting to get fuller with... starting to get filled up with the raw resource. So once we start processing, and to be fair, Lydia could probably do this. How's your inventory? You've got space. If I shift right click, you can start using the processor here. And again, shift clicking the box afterwards so that when this output fills up, she will unload it into the box. And I guess since Doc's not doing anything, he also can work on the refinery and have him haul that. Now, we can have more than one person working the refineries, and we will refine the number of active employees, I guess, for lack of a better term. And we'll actually tell Crumblejohn and Wing to help out, and when they're not doing engineering work, they will instead do the iron refinery. I really want to make sure no one else has any random jobs like medic, because we really only want Doc to have medic right now, unless we absolutely need to, because he's got the best skill. Okay, we'll just sit here and speed up time a bit. But yeah, I do want to buy one of these bulls because we can buy the bull and then we can buy a backpack for the bull. And it has a ton of storage space. It's really awesome. Obviously, it walks really slow, but for the most part, we're in a safe territory, so we shouldn't have too many problems with that. And in a pinch, they can be used as defense. I mean, you saw how our group handled that band of random bulls. It didn't go too well. So they definitely can be strong. Okay, so somebody woke up, is on the roof now. I think the door normally opens around 7. I could sit here and pick the door. And honestly, if you're interested in thievery or just kind of being a sneaky character overall, these houses are a great way to train up your lockpicking at night, because you can no one's really outside except for animals, and you can just sit there and lockpick to your heart's content. Okay, so do you have any animals for sale? You do, and oh, awesome! They're even cheaper than I thought. So this is a pup, but I think that the age doesn't matter. They're still full sized in terms of how they appear, and also I think you can put a backpack on them. I hope I'm not wrong about that. Let's do maybe let's do a teen. It's 9,000. I want to be able to afford the backpack. So it's about 9,000 for a teen. How much for a backpack? A backpack is going to be 2,000 cats. So we're down to 11,000. And we also still want to buy some of these goods as well. Let's just see if we can get the cheapest animal we can get right now, which I think is this one here. It's 5K, about 6K. Right? Yeah, that looks like that. Did your stock just change? Did we just lose one? It's random. Okay, we'll buy you. We'll call you Tiny, right? That seems amusing. You look adorable. Here you go, Tiny. And oh, you're so cute. Look at it. It's like a little happy puppy. It's like a velvet hippo, you know? It's like the pit bulls. Okay. So, we've got the bull. If we go to the inventory, you can see that it's got that backpack slot. So, let's have you buy the backpack for the bull. Same price, okay? And we'll go trade with the bull. Or Tiny, I should say. And Tiny now has a backpack. And now if we look at this backpack, come back, Tiny. Look how big this backpack is. This thing is huge, absolutely huge. Let's do a trade. Look how big his backpack is compared to Stone's backpack. It's nuts. And I believe everything stacks. So one easy thing you can do to trade, by the way, is to... Now, your bull can't go into a building. But what you can do is have the bull set up just outside of the building, outside of the shop. You can begin the trade with the dealer. And then you can actually select your other character. And it keeps the shopkeeper, it keeps their inventory open. So you can just buy things directly into your bull's backpack. So we want to get 10 of these. We want to get 10 of these. And that's it. That's what we wanted. You know what? While we're here, let's also grab some cotton. Now, we haven't researched cotton yet. And I imagine it's going to take 10 cotton to start a small cotton farm. Why don't we get 2 more? Because I think that's what the research cost is going to be. And I can probably just check that by looking at the farming and cotton. And sure enough, it needs 2 cotton and 2 books. So once we get back, we'll build a research bench and start that process too. So yeah, cool. We've got a trader. We've got a bull. You're not too terribly slow. Yeah, you're pretty slow. But you're doing fine. We're proud of you. We're excited to have you on board, Tiny. Welcome to the team. Loaded for bear here. So we'll put them at the same run speed, and we'll have them start running back to our outpost. Very excited. So now we've got a spare 4,000 cats. Unfortunately, what is happening here? Who's this naked guy in town? It's a random hungry bandit leader. Oh, poor guy's just hungry, and you guys are just beating him up. Oh, he's having a rough time. Look at his tiny little arm. You're like champion, man, to even stand up that long. Okay, so we're not gonna get too involved there. I didn't see anyone for recruiting in these 2 towns, or this town. So I'm going to have Tobal run down to Stack and just check the, what I'm doing is checking the bar to see if anyone is available for hire. Because I would like to maybe grab 1 or 2 people. And what I'm going to do actually is have our bull come back to town. I'm going to have the bull pick up all of the goods that everyone is carrying. And we'll have him meet Tobal over in Stack. Maybe actually let's have Tobal come back and escort the bull. For all that's worth. I don't think I could really hold off anything, but I could at least, do some kiting and try to help the bull escape. Meanwhile, everyone is working hard over here. It looks like Lydia and Crumblejohn are trying to make the raw stone into building materials. You don't really have anything done yet. You really want your refineries working full strength. So, to be fair, we probably don't need 3 people on this. What we could do, though, is switch this. So let's say hand. When hand, we can click and drag. So right now, hand is always going to try to run the manual stone processor. If the manual stone processor doesn't work, like it's full, or sorry, it's either full or it's empty, then he'll go back to mining stones. So that way we always have someone, kind of 3 people working at this refinery, and I guess Diana can't really work it too well, huh? Maybe we should send some people to go rescue our the couple folks over in Mongrel at some point. Oh, while you're here, is anyone for sale at the bar? For sale, I mean anyone for hire? We're not doing slaves. We're not doing slaves this run. At least not yet. We're not that desperate yet. You are Batai Soto. I can't honestly remember how the Holy Nation views the Shek, not Shrek. This person just doesn't like. He'll never leave. he just doesn't want to go unless there's the magic combination of conversation that I've missed so far. Okay. They're just running around like they normally do. Just a bunch of fogmen doing their thing. Trying to eat people, you know? Just trying to live a little bit. Trying to get a little snack. Nothing too big. Also, I think I saw something the other day. I forgot to mention. One easier way to notice the fog princes, I believe they have a different body coloring. Because we had a point where we had so many bodies around here that I was having trouble locating princes until I noticed it seems as though they have this yellowish, kind of like a pukish, yellowish, greenish color around the midsection of their bodies. Now, I don't know if that's the blood that they bleed once they get injured or if that's just always a thing, but it was easier to see them a little bit. Well, we're in a shop, I think, aren't we? Yeah, we accidentally went in the weapon shop. That's fine. We're not going to be able to really... I mean, if we recruit someone right here, we're not going to be able to run with them because they're probably going to be newer. So it really wouldn't make sense at the moment. Where is Tiny? Oh, it's foggy over here now. Oh, I think that's new. I don't think I've ever seen the fog in this zone before. That's kind of nice. Okay, guys, we need to trade up with Tiny here. So who's got stuff? Who's got stuff to trade? Well, none of you do, so let's go over to our laborers here. I think Alice does. Don't you have some stuff, Alice? You do. Let's have you trade with Tiny. Perfect. And while I'm thinking about it, let's have Stone trade with Tiny as well. Let's have him take all of the wheat straw and dump it into the proper... Which one's which? I think this is it. Okay, wheat side is on the right side, rather. The wheat farm is on the right. So he'll drop that off while everyone else is trading with Tiny. Kif, what you got? Anything in your inventory? No. Tassilo, no. Let's have Tiny go up to the rest of the laborers up here. And once we fill up, I'll send him off to stack. I think we already dumped Alice's, right? We did. Okay. So right here, not too much, just a little bit of goods. And honestly, if I've got his inventory open, I should be able to pick the next person. So we'll choose Rin. And it keeps the target of your trade open. And then who else was nearby? Jackson, you don't have anything for trade. I think that's it. Is everyone else empty on leather? Awesome. I might, yeah, well, we still have to work on getting our food production going and our storage for the food going as well. So we're good here and we're good here. Let's bring these two together and we'll do the shadow in terms of speed. Because Tobal's always going to be faster than our pup. Maybe I'll try to have him go up this hill here. I see two camps. What is this, a dog camp? Wolf den and a river nest. We'll have him come up over here, I think. Instead of coming up right on the wolf den or wolf nest. And you know what, just for fun, let's also, you know what let's do? Let's assign the bodyguard role to Diana to escort Tiny. So bodyguard actually adds a job here. So the bodyguard means they'll always attack anyone who's attacking. Otherwise, they'll stay close. And we'll give Tobal that job too, just to make sure if I'm not paying attention, that he'll immediately jump in on anyone who's attacking our beast of burden. Awesome. Let's go back to... Oh, you know what? I probably should have done something else first. Let's have Tiny come back just a notch. I forgot he also is running away with the fruit. So we'll have Stone come over and trade him the fruit. And I'm going to take a drink of water here while we're waiting. Okay, so I'm going to dump everything into Stone's backpack. And, okay, Tiny, sorry to interrupt you. On your way, please. Thank you so much. And Stone, I want you to go... why don't I just give you the job of engineer? Nope, that's the wrong one. There it is, engineer. So yeah, we're also going to need someone to work the farms as well. So that's why you start to run out of people, right? You don't want to... you will continue to expand your normal retinue and your normal employees, I guess, and your normal squad as you go, because here's our group that has just enough. I mean, we have like 12 people already, 13 in our main squad, and almost all of them are doing a laboring job. So at some point we'll send a rescue party to pick up Beep and Shrike. Now, I don't think Scorchlanders are hated or viewed poorly upon. Oh crap. This, I think, let me check the map. Okay, this is our first example of an event that's happening. So if I check the faction tab, you can see events, and this is where it shows you things that are happening against your different outposts or something like that. So we have a prayer day raid, so to speak. It's kind of like the Holy Nation's equivalent of a friendly raid. What they're coming to do is coming to make sure we're being as religious as possible. So I want to... Crap, does Tiny have it? It's going to be mildly annoying. Doc has it. Doc has a copy of the Holy Flame. So I'm going to have Doc go over here. Now whenever a raid happens, they normally come to your city and they say some crap and they, hey, you're going to feed us, or this place is looking real nice, right? So it gives you a couple seconds to react. So right here, he's going to do his spiel. And I'm going to turn jobs off so Doc stops trying to run away. And if you don't respond to this guy, it will cause a faction. I think it will cause like a reactive raid. So he has a golden chat bubble, which means he is requesting to talk to you. So, blessings from the Lord of Light, blah, blah, blah. We are pretty close to one of your devout churches. So he said, so take out your holy flame. So if you don't have one, the first time, I think they give you a holy flame, or they tell you that well, they do both. I think they give you a holy flame and tell you should never be without it. So, boom, right here. Now, you can be difficult and be a pain in the ass, but come on, let's look at these guys that he's with. We don't want to mess with these guys right now. We're in their lands. It's kind of like when in Rome, do as the Romans. So, we'll take his hand. O Okran, Lord of Light, let thine flames be all sorts of angry and hateful and spiteful. So, we're just going to press the one key a lot. It's not that hard, right? I mean, you smash one a couple times, he goes away, and he doesn't come back until the next prayer day. No big deal. And now we're still normal, everyday citizens, according to the Holy Nation Empire, not realizing that we have plans for them. So, oh, that's amusing. Did I just run right through a pack of animals and not even notice it? Yes, I did. Well, that's fine. At least the paladins are helping us out here by being busy. Well, that would have been absolutely horrible. I should pay more attention. Although I think they're actually going to clear out this camp. It's probably this camp here that got triggered, but who knows. So there we go. So Tiny and Tobal and Diana are on their way to a city with some goods, and our rest of our crew here is at the city working away. We do need to set someone to the job of farming. And I guess, Stone, since you don't have anything to do, I'm going to give you the job of farming. And what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to do it like this. Yep. So whenever he can, he's always going to try to be an engineer, okay? If there's nothing to build, he's going to tend to the farms. Well, the farms don't work right now because they need water, so he's going to operate the well. Basically, he's dropping a bucket and raising the bucket up and bringing water. So once that gets one resource of water, he's going to put it into one of the farms. So you see that triggered, he picked it up, he put it in his inventory, and then he dropped it into the vegetable farm. So now the crops are actually growing. So here's where we have to be careful that river raptors might start looking for a snack. So we'll have to pay attention. Now, if we happen to be looking at Tobal or the Tiny at the time, our bar should flash red. And I also want to make sure that no one has the passive job, because I do want everyone to defend our crops. Because We don't want to start losing crops right off the bat. Okay, so we don't have any building materials. Oh, we do. There's a couple that are still in the output of the processor. So what we can do now is maybe put down our next project, which I'd like to put down as a storm house. Just a small house. It's enough to get us going with a couple of things. We'll do, and it does bother me that nothing's lined up, but there's no grid system, so we're just going to have it a little bit haphazard, I think. A little bit more relaxed than I normally would. We'll have a house right here. This could be kind of our farming and cooking house. Now, one of the nice things about the houses are that you can mount crossbows off the top of the roof. So I'm eventually going to research crossbows, and we'll put some crossbows, some turrets rather, along this edge to cover the farm. That way, if any animals decide to come by and get a snack, we will have an ability to kind of tear them down with some crossbows. Or some turrets. Sorry, I keep saying it's crossbow turrets. So, okay, so we'll have Tiny continue their journey. We'll speed things up and watch it from their perspective. I'm also going to save because we've just done a lot of work, so I will throw that save in there. And again, what we're going to be looking for in this town is one place to sell, and then we also want to try to recruit some more people. So I'll have Tobal run ahead and check out the local bars, which is this building here, I believe. That's one of the inns. And he'll also have to sell the goods because the animals can't sell on their own, of course. So maybe we'll turn jobs off so he stops running like crazy. Let's have Diana and Tiny come by the wall. Why are you still doing your job? I told you to stop doing your job. I'll tell you to hold, apparently, too. Okay. So I'll talk to this person. How much money do you have? You should... Why are you still doing your job? That irritates me a bit. I turned the jobs off. Oh, apparently bodyguard is always a thing. When you turn jobs off... So let me do this. Let me do rescued. Is this an example? Yeah. When you turn jobs off, it goes gray. But apparently bodyguard is a full-time kind of a role. So we'll kill those real quick. We'll open up the trade menu. We'll switch over to Tiny. And we'll start selling our goods. And of course, the money goes to your faction as a whole. It's not like they're handing Tiny a bunch of cats and Tiny's stupid and eats them all. So that's fine. Alright, we're good there. We've got the goods we needed. Tobal can... I don't see anyone else in this bar. So let's go to the next bar and we'll sell the rest of the goods there and continue looking for some new recruits. Now, between this episode and the next episode, I might also add one more mod. There is, I think it's just a mod that increases the number of NPCs in a city. And it does make the cities feel more alive. And I think I was wondering why the cities felt so dead. And I think that's part of it. It's just, it doesn't feel alive without the rest of the NPCs here. And I must have been using that mod for so long that I become accustomed to it and thought that was the vanilla. So, definitely not. But, again, not seeing anyone to hire here. Oh, sorry, who are you? You actually are someone to hire. Do we need an engineer? We need bodies. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an engineer or not. We just need bodies, but I don't really want to be throwing our money out the window. That's, it's basically 6,000 would be 2 separate people normally. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do. I think it's been a little while now. Let me check back to the town, make sure nothing horrible is happening on our little village here. Oh, by the way, you can rename your outpost. So, I don't know. What are we gonna call our village here? It's just our outpost. What are we? We're the unyielding, the unbroken, unyielding. Here, we'll just call it Redemption, right? That's fine. We'll call ourselves Redemption. This is our little village name. And so actually, when you look on the map, you can see the name of your little outpost. And the icon changes based on, I think, how many buildings you have in the outpost. So, did I miss any other notifications? Are we getting raided by anyone else? Okay, the prayer day is in 5 more days. It's a repeating event. But we're okay there. And our guys are busy building this house. They still need a bunch of building materials. But as this stone processor continues to process, they will continue to build this building. Meanwhile, I think we're kind of stacking up on our iron plates, which is important. We're going to need more of those down the road. I think we could also build... Let's build storage for wheat straw, just basically a barrel. And let's build storage for green fruit. Perfect. That way when the time comes for harvest, we'll have somewhere to dump all of those goods. Okay, I think I'm going to take a quick break here, and I might load in the other mod because it does add more. I think it adds more recruitable NPCs. It also adds... I think it adds NPCs to cities. I'll have to take a look. But I think it's something we can work with. So let me try to get that working, and it might help us out in terms of recruitment, and it might just make these towns look a little bit more alive and less barren. Okay, and we're back, and I did a new import on the game, so nothing really was lost. You can use the import function from the main part of the game menu, and it basically takes your existing characters, buildings, and research and moves it over to kind of a new game. So it kind of reloads the world, but it keeps everything the same. So it's not like we lost anything. Characters may have new things to say for a minute until they get their normal stuff out. But for the most part, other than kind of rearranging the squad tabs for some reason, everything's the exact same. But I did go ahead and load in a couple new mods. So I've loaded one mod that increases the amount of just kind of random people who are wandering around town. And you can see it actually has a nice effect. It kind of makes the town look a little less barren than it normally is. So the town feels more alive, and kind of people are going to and from their different jobs, and they'll just be going about doing things. I've also added, there's a neat mod called Settlers Mod, I believe it is, and you can meet random people in the world and try to encourage them to join your, they say, hey, I've got this new village that we've just set up. Why don't you come join us? And there's basically a chance, like a 50% chance, that they'll just come. And what they do is they act like one of these citizens. They'll use your shops, they'll wander around, they'll sleep in public areas. Although they're not recruited to your group. So we've got a couple more folks here. Hello, Heft. I don't really want to hire anyone who is not at like the 3,000 cat minimum, because we just want some nice cheap labor with nothing fancy here. Just some nice people who can swing a pick and work a refinery. Plastic surgeon. Nope, we get that for free. So we're good there. Let's see, what is the other mod I installed? I've got the kind of the settlers group and the people who kind of wander around the cities a bit, and I think that's mostly it. I think there's also a supporting mod that was for the engine to spawn those roving groups out in the world. So hopefully our world might start to look a little more alive. The city already looks a little bit better, I think. Just people wandering from place to place. So excited about that. I will send... All 3 bars don't have anyone interesting for hire, so I will send Tobal and the group back home. Did I sell everything from Tiny? I think we did. Okay. So we'll send the group on home now, back to Redemption. And yeah, I think that's good. I'll continue to look for a new recruit at some point. I think I'll get Tiny and Diana back home safe, and then from there I'll send Tobal back out to go recruit. And we might even make a... Again, I keep forgetting that they really hate any other races. So I don't know if they're going to hate Beep and Shrike or not. I wonder if these added more people to recruit in the bars. Oops, that's a shop. Yeah, there's a couple of people. That's actually, I think there's the naming conventions get reused. So there's another person named Stone. I think this is the person that was like 5,000 cats before. Yeah, it seems like it's you get people out here in Mongrel, you can recruit people for about 5,000 cats because they all seem to have some kind of a bounty with their story. So otherwise, I think this is going on a decent amount of time. I will probably get Tobal back and then call this episode good. And we'll continue on with our expansion of our base. It probably will be not too much longer. I'm going to give it a couple episodes to get our base up and running. I want to finish the first harvest And why are you all not working? Oh, I think I have to reset the operating machine. For some reason, they're not all operating their machine here. So we'll switch this. We want this job to be on top. So just a small minor detail that happened from when I re-imported the game. So we might have to take a look at everyone. Now you guys are still mining your stone mine just fine. So you guys are good, and everyone else is still working hard. I think I'm going to take Crumble, John, and Wing off the engineering role and leave it for stone for the moment. And, you know, we've got 10,000 cats. Maybe we should have hired that engineer so we can have a dedicated engineer, much like we have Stone, who is a dedicated crossbow and turret guard. But we'll get there in time. We'll figure out the roles. For the moment, I think we have to do a little bit of micromanagement and a little bit of switching around in terms of what people are doing, because we don't really have a ton of people right now. But we'll get there. We definitely are going to get there. Our crops are 33% grown, so that's awesome. We're going to have our first harvest pretty soon. And once we have our harvest, we'll look at, actually once our building goes up, we'll look at starting to put in, number one, the research bench, but also the things that we need to start cooking, which I think is under crafting. Do we not have that researched at all? Oh, it's under food. Okay, so we'll put down a cooking stove, bread oven, and grain silo, and those are all things that we need to start cooking with, which is exciting because we need a stockpile of food so our people don't have to keep carrying tons of this, you know, raw meat and cooked meat with them. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope it was entertaining, and I hope maybe there was a tip in there for you. And I do think I'm going to use this. I've got another save that I was using as my tutorial kind of guide. So as I start to build and remember certain things about the game, I might add another video out about, you know, kind of advanced base setup, and just some other topics in that tutorial series about building your base up, as well as some other advanced topics in general. Uh-oh, they're making a beeline for our crops. This might be the one. This might be the big fight. Let's bring everyone together. All right, well, maybe this episode's going to go on for a couple minutes longer. Let's have Tobal and Diana split away from the pack. We'll take off the bodyguard job. I want you guys to just make a sprint over here. Tiny, I don't really want to fight at all, so we'll have Tiny on passive. Well, maybe. Maybe Tiny could be the difference here. They're all following leader. Which one of you is the leader? Take me to your River Raptor leader here. You're patrolling, huh? I don't know. It sure does look like you're about to go get after my freaking goods here. Let's turn everyone's jobs off. How are we doing with our archers, right? We've got a bunch of archers. Why don't we start shooting them up? Although I think I gave most of my arrows over to Stone, right? Because Stone was the master archer. Are you taking a negative to your crossbows because of... Can I even tell that? It's a -5 to your combat skills. Why don't we give the backpack... Why don't we trade the backpack over to someone else right now? Just in case. I don't really want him to be over encumbered if he's going to be, you know, opening up on a bunch of enemies. Do we have any more... Wow, did I really use this many bolts over the last couple of episodes? Oh, that's weird. I don't know why Jackson has everything. Let's give it all to Stone. I mean, Stone can have a decent amount. We could actually trade... let's see. Let's go back to that. Let's give everything to him, and then let's trade off and do... You get a bolt. You get a full thing. We can actually make these at some point, too, which is going to be nice. We can make our own bolts. And as I'm waffling again, let's have Hand be the one who's actually carrying the backpack. Because Hand is kind of the weakest of our entire group. Okay. All of our archers, I want you to... move this way. Let's move squad. Let's move Stone into the squad. Because if we're going to have fighting, I want them to be able to easily control all of them. Okay, so you're all over here. Oh, they're not really fighting us. It looks like. I thought they were going to come for the crops. Oh, what are you guys doing? I'm paranoid about my crops now. I really am. All right, we'll see if they come across. That's right. That's right. You better leave. You saw all of my archers ready to go, huh? I don't think they're going to eat the crops either. I wonder if they have to get within a certain range and then they start eating, or if the crops have to grow a certain amount beforehand. But hey, just for fun, do we want to? The problem is, as you create corpses, I think river raptors are attracted to corpses. So you could wind up having swarms and swarms of river raptors and get overwhelmed. I think I'm gonna wait until I get a corpse. There's a corpse burner that you can research, and I think we might want to wait until we get that before we start really being aggressive and killing them all as they're coming nearby. There it is, corpse disposal. That's fine. We can research that as soon as we put down a new bench. Okay, for the moment, we'll be calm and we'll not try to kill everything that comes nearby. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Kenshi. As always, if you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section below in a question and I'll answer it as soon as possible. Otherwise, I look forward to making a new video for you very soon and having that out quickly.